Hey folks, I am here to start the coloring how I color flowers series. I've had several people ask me if I would do that, so that's what I'm going to do. I already have you zoomed in. The first one I'm going to do is a tulip, and this is how the color I chose for this particular tulip. And I've colored one already, and I will color one with you. So let's get started. I'm trying to decide if I want to color this one or this one down here. I think we'll do this one right here. For this one, we're going to use a Polychromos, and I've picked out the colors. I have the colors. I will tell you what the colors are. I'm not going to use polys every time. I'm going to try to use different pencils each time I do a flower. I'm going to try to use a different pencil to give you a variety. So for the petals bud itself, we are going to be using dark cadmium yellow 108, a dark chrome yellow 109, dark cadmium orange 115, light cadmium red 117, and madder 142. That's what we're going to be using for that. For the leaves, we are going to be using a permanent green, which is 266, I think. Leaf green, which is 112. Permanent green olive, which is 167, and pine green, which is 267. Also, I'm going to be using Ivory, and also I'm going to be using a Caran d'Ache blender. I don't use blenders a lot, but for this I will. This is toothy paper, and don't be afraid of the blender. Don't let people make you feel bad for using a blender. If you want to use a blender, use a blender. Now, I will say that you need to add color. Still layer and do stuff. Don't let the blender do all the work for you, unless that's what you want. If you want to do that, then have at it. But I think you'll be happier if you start layering and such. And this is the book we're going to be using, and it is called Flower Weather, I think. I'm not sure. But this is the book that I'm going to be coloring out of. This is a book that I got off Amazon Japan. So without further ado, let's get started. Now how I start is I take my lightest color, which is going to be the dark cadmium yellow 108. Keep in mind, this is how I do it. I was asked to show how I do it. Everybody does it different. It's okay. You do it how you do. But this is how I do it. I take and I just do a layer of the lightest color over the whole thing. And that's pretty much how I start every time. That way you already have some color on real quick. You look like you're accomplishing something real quick. And I think it helps motivate and gives a nice base for your other colors. And move around. I feel like I'm too shadowy. So we'll just do that with all of them. And then we'll start adding in our other colors. Now, I'm not a teacher by any means of the word. Sunday school teacher, yes, but not a coloring teacher. So I just show you how I do it, and then you do it how you want to do it. Okay, so there we have that. Now we're going to take our dark chrome yellow and we're going to go in, and let me turn just a little bit. We're going to go in and do little circles. And almost cover the whole thing. We're not going to cover the whole thing completely. We're going to leave some of that light in there. So we're going to shimmy shake around and leave some of it in there. Okay, like that. Now what I do here is I do not do all of the petals with the second color. This is where I start doing one petal at a time. Then we're going to take the next, which is dark cadmium orange, and this is where I'm going to start kind of flicking a little to get kind of some of that vein look. You do not have to be perfect here because they are not perfect. No petal is the same, identical as the other. So that's a good thing about coloring flowers. I think that flowers can be kind of a freeing thing to color because you do not have to be perfect. So you can just do what you want to do. Now this was light cadmium red. I don't think that I said that. I'm not good at this. So we're just gonna throw some of that in there as well. Then we're gonna take our madder, and with it we're just gonna like kind of randomly do like some strips up through here. Make that one, kind of make it come down here and meet this one a little, kind of like that. Maybe we'll have another one over here. This is where it's up to you on how you want it to look. Okay. We're going to bring that all the way up to the top. We'll do another one come down through here, and we may have it just stop right there. Then we're going to go back through our colors and kind of make them go together. Just flick if you want to flick. You don't have to flick. You can just kind of mushy them, layer them on top of each other. I will not go back over the whole thing with the lightest color because I'm going to use the ivory in the end to blend it all together. And I'm not sure that you can even tell what color that is, but it is. Now I'm going to take and go back over that madder to kind of deepen it up a little bit. Because we do want it to be, you know, definitely stand out a little bit over the others. Then I'm going to take the ivory and I'm going to go over all of it. Pretty much just the light, mainly just the light part. Not necessarily going to go over that matter color, but when we use the blender, we'll go over all of it. Okay, so something like that. Then we'll take the Caran d'Ache blender and we will blend. Now, I do not use it like I'm not crazy with it. I don't like bear down with it like a lot of people do. I don't do that. Okay. Then if you want to, need to, just, this is one of the reasons why I do not bear down with it, other than my hands won't let me, is because if you don't, then you can go back in and add more color if you want. Okay. So something kind of like that. Alright. Then we can add some more of this in, because I don't particularly want it to be, I want it to be stripy because that's the type of tulip that I'm doing, but I don't want it to be, I want there to be more color in between. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so let's move on to this one. And this is the dark chrome yellow. And like I said, we'll just go all the way leaving a little of the light color shining through. That base does make a difference. Even if it's a subtle difference, it does make a difference. Dark cadmium orange, and this is where we're going to try to flick some of those veins in a little bit. You can do some from the bottom, some from the top, just whatever you want to do. And then a light cadmium red. Bring some of those up. Some of them down. Just however you want to do it. Then take your matter, and then I'm going to use this up here kind of as a little reference as to bringing them down. Okay, we need to do a little bit here. Maybe not go all the way up, just go a little. Bring another one here. Just however you want to do it. Just recommend looking at reference photos if you're not sure on, you know, what color you want your flower to be or anything like that. Look at a reference photo. Reference photos are very handy. Go outside. It was told to me one time that go pick a blade of grass and look at it and just see how many colors are in the blade of grass. Those kind of things help. So definitely do that. If you need references, get you some references. Don't let people make you feel bad for using a reference photo. Get you some inspiration. Make it fun. People get bogged down. We can't get bogged down. This is supposed to be things we do for enjoyment. Things we do for enjoyment. Going back with the madder. I will list these colors in the description if you're interested in them. This isn't exactly a color along per se, but if you want to use these colors or something, they will be there for ya. Alright, let's take this ivory, kind of go over it, and we'll go over it one more time with the madder to make that a little darker, and we'll blend it in. And take your time, you don't have to go as fast as I'm going. I tend to go faster on video than I do when I'm not on video. So, yeah. So definitely take your time, enjoy what you're doing. Alright, I feel like I need another, maybe this color in here, a little bit more of this in here, which is the dark chrome yellow. I'm going to put that in there, make it a little orangier. And then I'm going to take this Caran d'Ache blender and we're going to blend it all out. I like the way the blender looks on this paper. Like I said, I don't use a blender very often, and you don't have to use a blender, but I like the blender on this paper. So definitely don't use one if you don't want to use one. So there's that one. Now moving on, we'll do this inside one, which is dark. We're going to go back with a dark chrome yellow. And go all the way, leaving some of the lighter color shining through. Then we're going to hit the dark cadmium orange. We will do some flicking, but I want to get some of this where it's going to shadow a little because it's overlapping petal. And then we'll bring in some of the Just a little bit of that. Then we have light cadmium red. Put that in here too. We'll do a little bit of the madder, not as much as we did in the other, but just maybe a little. You just do it in these lines that the artist gave us. That's where we'll put it this time. Not a lot. Just a little. Something like that. And then this is back to a dark chrome yellow. We'll add us another layer of that in between. Take our madder again. Give it a little extra oomph. Then we'll take our ivory. And then we will take our blender and blend some of that out. Now let's move on to these up here. Dark chrome yellow again. Dark cadmium orange. Do a little flicking, not a lot. Just a little bit. I think this is like cadmium red. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll list them in the description for those who are interested. Just a little bit of the madder, not a lot, just a tad. Let's go with this, and then blend it out with the blender. Like that. Need to add some more, I think, of this to this. It's not looking as orangey as I want it to. Alright. Last little bit on this one up here. I'll have to go back in and do some more darkening up on the edges where they overlap, because there would be some dark there. Go ahead and do that on this side so I don't forget. Because it's highly possible that will happen. Take the madder, just do a little bit down here, and just a very little bit. Alright, then we're going to go back over going to take the ivory and go over it with the ivory. And then the blender. And blend that all out. You feel that it needs to be a little less choppy, which I feel it does. Just go back in there with your colors. Alright, I need to make this a little darker here because it's overlapping. Okay, so there's that. Now we can put this aside and work on the green. Permanent green is what we're going to start with, and we're just going to lightly base it. So if you've made it this far, bless your heart. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that you're so bored. Oh, me. Alright, that has like a triply thing. I'm probably just going to show one of the leaves because they will both be done the exact same way. And I don't want to torture you. For those who love me so and watch my videos, no matter how boring they are, I won't do that to you. Man, I'm out of frame. Sorry. So sorry. I'm not sure what this is happening here, but so they did it. Alright. So we're going to do this one right here. Next we are going to take the permanent green olive. Alright, and then we're just going to try to do some of the darker areas with it. So where the stem meets the leaves, these little lines that they have given us. Go in there and do that. Like that. Kinda like that. We'll need to do it around this flower here. All right. Go ahead and do some of this part. Okay, and then we're going to take the leaf green and go over the last one that we just did and then pull it out some. And we will go over the whole thing with the first color on this one too. So we will do that. Kind of make that a line down in the middle. Then we are going to take our lightest color, which was the permanent green, our first color, and go over all of it and kind of wipe out some of that white. I am an embrace the white kind of gal, but for this we're going to try to not have as much. And don't worry about losing the dark because we have one more color that's going to add to that. Alright. So then we're going to take our pine green, and this is going to be our darkest color. Right, so that's where we're going to take it. With those lines that they've given and use them to your advantage. Alright, so I need to add a little darker right here because of that flower laying over there. Something like that. Then we're going to take the blender, and this is one thing that I really like about this blender on this paper, because it does give the leaves the look of a texture. Because of the paper. Like I said, I don't bear down really hard on this. A lot of people do. I do not. I needed to add some of the pine in here, just a little bit, like that. Alright, so something like that is what we're going for the tulips. I'm only going to do that one because you get the point. You get the point. So yeah, there, I'm not going to zoom out, but there are the tulips, and that is the first flower that I'm going to show you how I color. If you have any suggestions for flowers or anything like that, any comments, just leave them in the comment section down below, and I will read them and answer them if there's any questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this take on how I color a tulip. And yeah, I will leave the colors in the description. And I appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for watching. And I'm not sure which flower I'll do next, but this will be an ongoing series type deal. So yeah, so thanks so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and be kind to one another, make someone smile, and I'll see you next time. Bye.